distinguished guests, faculty members, and dear participants. It is with immense pleasure and pride that ambitions are crucial in which the raw talent of young minds are refined. They offer a unique platform to bridge the gap between theoretical knowledge and practical application, fostering a spirit of inquiry and intellectual rigor. As we embark on this intellectual journey, let us celebrate the spirit of law, the pursuit of justice, and the camaraderie that binds us as a community of legal scholars and practitioners. Now I would like to request everyone to please rise for the national anthem. Would like to request our esteemed dignitaries to please come for lighting of the lamp. SP Singh sir of the Assam Royal Global University to felicitate our chief guest, Justice Retired Biplab Kumar Sharma, former judge of Guwahati High Court. Professor Dr. Bhuban Chandra Barua sir to felicitate our guest of honor, Professor Dr. Stephen P. Marks, Dean of Jindal School of Public Health and Human Development, OP Jindal Global University of Guwahati University. Royal School of Law and Administration, Professor Dr. Bhuban Chandra Barua sir, to please kindly give the welcome address.
Everyone on the dais, our dignitaries, and especially the participants of the Moot Court competition. First of all, I extend my heartiest welcome to you all. I always used to say the law becomes the life. The moment we take place in our mother's womb, the law starts. And this is not an era of information. This is an era of innovation, the era of transformation. So the journey was started in the Stone Age, and we have entered in the era of artificial intelligence. So everything becomes challenging. My dear students, especially the participants, we, the Royal Global University, promotion of the clinical legal education, the purpose of the clinical legal education to direct towards the developing of the perception, attitude, skills, as well as sense of the responsibility of the budding lawyers' professionalism. We must be good human being, and at the same time, we have to maintain the professionalism. Edition stands as a testament of nurturing the brightest legal minds of tomorrow. We are trying to provide a platform to showcase their talents, knowledge, and mastery of law. With this momentous occasion, we want to take a leap forward in fostering the excellence and innovation in the field of law and transform the legal education into justice education. This is the time, high time to transform the legal education to justice education. So with this, I conclude my welcome speech. My dear participants, I want to say one thing, that this competition, always I used to say that you compete with yourself, not with others. This competition, you may win the competition. You may not be win, you may be defeated. But you take it as a battle. In a battle in our life, you can be won, you can be defeated, but always try to win the war of your life. With this, I conclude my welcome message, and I wish you all the success. And I welcome to this excellent university, and I hope you will enjoy this. Our campus is a very beautiful campus. You will enjoy, and if you have any kind of problem, dear participants, please inform us. Thank you very much.
Of the Assam Royal Global University, Professor Dr. S.P. Singh, sir, to kindly please address the gathering.
So good morning everyone present here, and a special thanks to three very eminent dignitaries and luminaries of law sitting on the dais, and Bhuvanchand Barwaji has already welcomed them. On behalf of the university, I also welcome each three of you, sir, on today's Moot Court competition inaugural ceremony. Basically, Justice Biplab Kumar Sharma ji, I think we are very, very blessed to have you with us today, and I think our students and the Moot Court participants and teachers especially will get a lot of insight from your deliberation and from your presence itself. I think that is going to be very, very much motivating for the students who are sitting here. I think at our time, when we were a student of law, I think in Campus Law Center, Delhi University, way back in 1990 to 92, I was there for 2 years. I hardly could see any justice coming and interacting with the students. So time has changed. Justices are also, and maybe even retired and present justice, Chief Justice also came other day. So I think this era is a different era when you children are getting more exposure to the courts, and every court proceeding is also been there in the air. If you want to see court proceeding of today's what is happening in High Court of Guwahati, you can very well log in and see. Recently there was a case, I was interested in that. I have seen it directly, live telecast. So I think there's a lot of opportunities to learn. I think what I probably have understood, I will just speak in another 2 minutes. But before that, I also, very, very eminent, I met many times Professor Dr. Ramesh and Barpatra Gohai Sahab, and welcome to Royal Global University. And we are always blessed with your presence. And we have with us Stephen P. Mark from quite some days, 4 days with the campus. I just inquired from him how he's finding the campus. He has said that it was a good hospitality, but I think that is not enough. I think, Stephen, we will also be happy if you say that my students and teachers are learning a lot from your presence and deliberations, and that I want, end of the day, when you go, we should know that we have learned many things from you. And my faculty members, colleagues, Dr. Na, Dr. Barua, and all other teachers sitting here without any order. So I am avoiding the order. Our registrar also is here. And most important is we have many participants for Moot Court competition coming from other institutions and from Royal Global University. I have seen many Moot Court competition. This is the 4th law school that I established, and Royal Global University is my 4th one. Before that, MIT Mumbai and MIT Raipur, where I was the Vice Chancellor, and before that we established one in Jaipur also. So these 4 schools, and Moot Court, this is the 4th Moot Court I constructed with my own hands, with my own design. Though it was a less space, but we thought initially to begin with, we can have that Moot Court enough for us. But in future, I am very sure when the numbers will increase in Royal School of Law and Administration, we will have this size or maybe bigger than this size Moot Court as we were having in MIT University, Noida. So all those ideas are there, but then there are, as law is very important, economics is also very important. As big a space we give, that much of money goes from the pocket of the promoters. I think along with law, all of you should also be very careful about usage of space, about usage of resources, and how to utilize it. We talk about sustainable development goals, and we all are following it, but when we go and see our wardrobes, 5 wardrobes are full, and with all the things which we never use for 2-3 years, and we talk about sustainable development goals. We want a very big room, and we do not want to disturb the environment, and we talk about sustainable development goals. So you have to imbibe in yourself approach of minimalistic approach, where your wardrobe should be smaller, your spaces should be smaller, your heart should be bigger, and your heart should be for the nature. And law is definitely doing that. Whenever you found yourself a little crumbled, I was sitting, this was a table for 3 people, I was sitting 4th there. I was very happy. I was not feeling bad because I was utilizing the space, and I was not pressurizing the earth by taking more space. And that is the way nature wants from all of us, to understand nature and do our own bit. Talk big is not enough. Do our bit, that is more important. I don't know from where this thought came to my mind while I was sitting there, Judge Sahab, Sharma ji, this thought came to my mind. So I'm just expressing what came to my mind. About Moot Court competition, I would say that it is wonderful, wonderful competition. And when I was listening to Barwa Sahab, and I listened to many people, I am very sure that 3 very eminent people will make law very simple. I did my law 3 + 2, 5 years, though it was not 5-year law, 2 years in Campus Law Center that I could not complete because I had to go and join my JRF. And then after 10 years, 15 years, I again took admission in law, appeared for 54 papers in 3 years and did my law. I learned that law is the simplest subject on earth. I'm sorry to say, if you mind it, it is the simplest if your mind is very pure and simple. Judge Sahab and Barpatra Ghai Sahab, if your mind is pure and simple, and you are logic and you are logical in your approach, it is very simple. I taught this class. Was it not very simple, corporate law? So I taught the whole class, 40 classes, and I have tried my level best to make the simplest. My humble request to all of you, my young children, or maybe students who are participating for Moot Court, try to simplify law, not complicate law. And I tell you very honestly, the most complicated thing, if you read with a simple mind and pure thought, it will become simple. It is nothing beyond logical and beyond truth. And it is all very simplified. So my humble request, in your deliberation also and in your competition also, don't try to complicate the case. Simplify the case. And I'm very sure judges like them will be understanding, if you simplify it and prove your point, you will get more points than people who complicate and try to get points. So I think there's so many judges. I am not a prudent man to talk in front of you. But then there are 2 more judges sitting here. But I have seen, and it has not come from, the study of law. I have almost defended 25 cases along with my lawyers, including Ritu Rajavasti ji and Devendra Upadhyay. They were our lawyers once upon a time. We have seen the cases, and I have seen how they have taken the information from us who were basically pleading for or pleading, and who were trying to give them, हमारा क्या बोलते हैं उसको हिंदी में, जो मुंशी जी होते हैं, उनसे पॉइंट्स ले लिए, और जो हम लोग पैरोकार, द वर्ड इन हिंदी एंड उर्दू, इफ एवरीबडी नोज, सर पैरोकार वर्ड इज quite popular here or not? पैरोकार, जो जिसका केस होता है उसका एक आदमी रहता है जज वकील के साथ में, जो ये पैरोकारी करता है, बताता है कि सर ये बता दो, ये कर दो, ये कर दो, ये इंपॉर्टेंट. तो मैं पैरोकार था 20-25 केस में, और सारे केसेस इतने सिंपल करके हम लोगों ने दिए, और एक भी अभी तक तो नहीं हारा हूँ सर. नॉट इवन सिंगल केस आई हैव बीन बीटन इन द कोर्ट, एंड आई एम वेरी श्योर कि वो पैरोकार इज़ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट ऑफ लाइफ. एंड इफ पैरोकार इज नोन अबाउट द लॉ एंड रीड लॉ एंड सपोर्ट द lawyers, the lawyer's life becomes simple and judge's life also becomes simple. So when you go to the moot court, you have somebody who's on behalf of that you are pleading. Always keep that person next to you and keep taking, because he is the person who is sufferer. And he knows what is the thing in that case, maybe more than a lawyer and maybe more than a judge. So I'll conclude here. My best wishes to all of you. God bless you, and best wishes to especially those children who have come from other institutions and colleges of law. Thank you all, and God bless you. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words. We are proud to have our honorable guest of honor, Professor Dr. Stephen P. Marks, Dean of Jindal School of Public Health and Human Development, OP Jindal Global University, amongst us today. Professor Marks graduated in law from Stanford University and earned graduate degrees from the universities of Paris, Strasbourg, Besançon, and Nice in France, as well as the University of Damascus in the Syrian Arab Republic. Among his degrees are master degree from Institute of Advanced International Studies of the University of Law, Economics and Social Sciences of Paris, Doctors of Law with high honors from Institute of the Law of Peace and Development, Faculty of Law and Economics, University of Nice, and an honorary Masters of Arts from Harvard University. I would like to request Professor Marks, sir, to kindly please address the august gathering.
Good morning, everybody. I have been asked to address this inaugural session of the RGU Moot Court competition organized by the School of Law and Administration. It is indeed an honor for me to speak at the same event as the distinguished Dean of the Law School and the Honorable Vice Chancellor, S.P. Singh. This Moot Court will be inaugurated by the Honorable Ramesh Chandra and the chief guest, Sharma. I am humbled to be in their presence. I also wish to acknowledge the chairperson academics of RGU, who has been so helpful in welcoming me and guiding me here. A moot court competition can be the occasion, as you've just heard from Professor Singh. A moot court competition can be the occasion to reveal two features of quality legal education. You are participating in this moot court presumably because you value the quality of your legal education and hopefully will find some merit in the two aspects of that education I propose now for your consideration. First, participating in a moot court brings out the high level of logical and legal reasoning and the use of clear language, or as you've just heard from Professor Singh, a more simplified language that communicates the message convincingly. This represents one of the highest skills of anyone who devotes their career to the legal profession. Our minds are shaped by whatever capacity for thought comes with our DNA and by our socialization and training. There comes a moment in your youth when you realize that you are blessed as a result of these two influences with a sense of reasoning and a capacity to express ideas logically and convincingly. Once you are aware of that aptitude in yourself, you are well positioned to opt for a career in law. It is indeed that aptitude that will allow you to excel as a lawyer. And what better way to honor these skills than to participate in a moot court. So, as you've just heard from Professor Singh, don't be afraid to demonstrate your ability in this regard. Speak convincingly with confidence and simplicity, and show off your ability to make a convincing case for your position. The second feature I wish to underline that a quality legal education gives you and that makes a big difference in your legal career, and that can be highlighted in a moot court competition, is your interest in and ability to delve into non-legal subjects in the course of your legal education, essentially in the sciences and humanities, preferably with a global perspective, which is that of this university. The topic of interdisciplinarity reminds me of the naive reasoning that led me to pursue legal education in the first place. As a young lad in secondary school and contemplating university studies, I observed that the practice of law could lead an attorney one day to draw on the intricacy of financial instruments requiring an understanding of advanced accounting in order to deal with mergers and acquisitions. And the next day, the lawyer might draw on the complexities of psychology of human relations to sort out dissolving marital relations. And the next day, the lawyer might need to explain the sequencing of DNA in proving culpability or paternity. And the next day, the lawyer might delve into art history in a case involving the tracing of lost or stolen art. And the next day might apply the knowledge of chemical and electrical engineering for filing or contesting patents, and so on. You get my point. I was too young to know that law firms and attorneys specialize, and that one attorney might have to acquire or bring to the practice advanced knowledge in one of these areas, but could rely on expert testimony for most of these issues. I just assumed that all lawyers had encyclopedic minds. Nevertheless, it remains true that legal education in a global perspective not only draws on a wide range of disciplines in order to succeed in legal practice, but advances a deeper societal purpose. That purpose was well expressed in the following description of general education as not only one of the enrichments of existence, it is one of the achievements of civilization. It heightens students' awareness of the human and natural worlds they inhabit. It makes them more reflective about their beliefs and choices, more self-conscious and critical of their presuppositions and motivations, more creative in their problem solving, more perceptive in the world around them, and more able to inform themselves about the issues that arise in their lives. But the fact remains that law, by its nature, deals with creating and applying rules to the full range of human activity, and therefore potentially draws on the full range of sciences and humanities that have allowed humans to understand our world and our place in it. So the challenge before you is to determine to what extent your participation in this competition will enhance your ability to convince the judge by clearly presented and well-structured argumentation, and your opportunity to include knowledge acquired by the study of the sciences and humanities as part of the legal studies in a global perspective. And I have noted that the moot court problem for today happens to be one that does call upon this range of skills in the sciences in more advanced domains of technology. I have been fortunate to have had a long career using those skills that were honed in law school and expanded throughout my career. And I can assure you that what you do here today, if you will put the effort into it, sets you on a professional path that will be intellectually exciting and contribute to advancing justice under the rule of law. Good luck in your moot court competition.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful words. We are honored to have Professor Dr. Ramesh Chandra Borpatra Gohai, former Advocate General, Assam, and former Dean, Department of Law, Guwahati University, as our guest of honor for today's ceremony. Professor Borpatra Gohai has completed his PhD in law, LLM, and diploma in journalism from Guwahati University. He was the former Dean of Faculty of Law in Guwahati University. He served as a senior advocate of Guwahati High Court and as an Advocate General of Assam too. Currently, he is serving as the chairman of State Law Commission, Assam. His areas of expertise lies in jurisprudence, human rights, constitutional law, and many other legal studies. I would like to request Professor Borpatra Gohai, sir, to kindly please inaugurate the competition with his inaugural speech.
A sincere good morning to you all, especially the learned people who are on the dais, and of the dais, the learned teachers, and also the young generation who are coming to have their intelligent competition in this particular moot court. The first thing, as a human being, what I feel, a particular question that strikes always in my mind. We say that we are in a human society, but are we becoming a human being? We are still man. Man means there is no sense of belongingness, no sense of justice, and no sense of rationality. That is what is going on. The nuclear wars which are going around the world with the fascination that we are more powerful than you. Is it the human society's philosophy? Two of the world wars, not to speak of earlier wars, First World War and Second World War, League of Nations made an attempt to pacify the warmongering tendency among the nations, because the human civilization has to grow and move. Ultimately, because of that warmongering, the sense of possession of the entire world, bypassing the Creator, taking advantage of science, we are marching towards annihilation of human civilization. If in this way the Third World War comes, what is the benefit we are getting out of use of science and technology? That is a very serious issue. The debate we will be making about the protection of human rights or the rights of human being to live in a society with dignity, whether we will have a chance and opportunity for making an effort for this. The time has come, especially my address to the young generation, future is for you, tomorrow is for you. Please think about it, how to pacify this warmongering tendencies. That is the most important thing. In the Vedas, and I personally, I am proud of being an Indian, that the Indian culture that has started from the Vedic time, the spirit is, Ayam Nija Paruveti, Ganana Lagu Seita Sam, Udara Saritanam to Basudeva Kutumbakam. The world is a village, we are all residents of this village. The geographical boundaries we human beings are creating, it is not created by the nature or the Creator. That realization is necessary. And as a human being, what I feel is that the human life is in the interplay of two kinds of laws. One is the law of spirit and the law of matter. But taking advantage of these armaments or such nuclear weapons or whatever that might be, or today another danger is coming to the field of human civilization, that is artificial intelligence. Whether we should absolutely depend on that, which will engulf the human civilization, finish all of us. Many of the scientists, Stephen Hawking including them, they are predicting that towards the end of this century, it will not be human habitable for this cosmos, and we will have to hunt some other planets to move on. And that is going to happen. Mathematically also it is proved. I don't like to go to that aspect. So from that perspective, what I feel is that first let us specify, and coming to that particular context, another philosophy in an Indian constitution, the philosophy behind the Indian constitution is Sarve bhavantu sukhina, Sarve shantu niramaya, Sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukkam bhaga bhavet. That means everybody should have a chance to live a dignified life without any hankering after anything else. Everybody should be. And based on that principle, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, if we go to Article 1, 2 and 3, we find that it is at most declared to be universal right out of 30 human rights. So from that perspective, we have to understand that aspect. Secondly, coming to that particular context for which I'm invited here, the moot court competition issue is framed that in a particular legal issue, how to address the issue, what I feel is that the knowledge we have to inculcate on the fact or the issue before us. Then in addition to that, what are the laws which are relevant for arguing the case in my side is very important. Relevant laws are two components. One is the legislative law that will have to be cultivated out, that what are the laws which are relevant for my argument. And secondly, judicially evolved laws, Article 141, when the Honorable Supreme Court or many of the High Court are creating something in an innovative manner, say for example, basic structure I'm talking about, is one example. Time will not permit me to go on others. So that judicially evolved law as well as the law that is passed by the parliament or the state legislature. Now, in the advent of change, it is changing so fast, whether that particular law which was created long back has a relevancy or not, we have to think about that. And in addition to that, when supposing there is an issue when the legislative resolution is not there up to the mark, present the requirements, hopes and aspiration of society, then in that case we will hunt about the judicial evolved theories, and supposing both are not helping us, what to do? Should we give up? Then that is called lateral thinking. In our thinking process, we will have to try intellectually bridging the gap between the reality and the issues which are before us. And in that case, say for example, innovation is a process of interpretation. For the interpretation, what we have to think about, say for example, hypothetically I'm talking about Article 367 of the Constitution of India, it mandates that when even the Supreme Court is interpreting a particular law or custom or tradition, whatever that might be, then in that case, the British law, the General Clauses Act 1897, we cannot cross that boundary. Should we be content with that, or should try to innovatively create something new? Say for example, right from Vedic time, Indian culture of interpretation was, I personally believe, is much, much higher than to the Western Anglo-Saxon jurisprudence. That is my understanding. Say for example, the theory of Nyayas, the Mimamsa principles, in some of the judgments that is reflected weight. So from that perspective, we have to create something innovative. Say for example, when I'm appearing before a court, that will be the common practice for that. When I'm appearing before a court, when the law that is created by the legislature, customs, or the law evolved by the judiciary on certain issues which are not helping me, should I be content with that? As because Supreme Court has also not decided something, law is also not there, let us give up. No, we have to apply our lateral thinking process. That is why these competitions are there. So in this intellectual competition, we will have to intellectually develop our acumen, intuition in such a way that we will be convincing, and our convincing argument will definitely satisfy the honorable judges, and it also makes them to understand that, oh, this is a very important issue, then in that case, I think the honorable judges will also favor the arguments put forward with the intelligence. So from that perspective, I say that everybody should aware of it. Second important aspect is, when we are talking about, say, moot court or arguing before a court, we always consider it from individualistic point or professional point of view. But the basic thing is social justice is the cardinal principle, and that is the objective. And for obtaining social justice, we will have to endeavor. And whenever we are confining within the professionalism, then this enlightened man, say for example, in Rig Veda, that long back the Veda has said that we should keep our mind, intelligent mind open, and let all the ideas around the world come into our mind, and based on that we will mold it for the application to that present context. So from that perspective, I think we should develop some new ideas, we should create some new ideas, make the honorable judges to think about that, oh, it is real, and that will bring a new vista, new horizon for social justice. And with that, I encourage all the young generation that don't confine only in textbooks, only in judgments of the Honorable Supreme Court. Apply your mind. Say, for example, you are getting an opportunity here to debate in the moot court competition, because today you are here, you are rehearsing for entering into that profession or in any discipline of law. Then in that case, this skill you will develop, that will help in successive life, and that will, with the orientation of social justice. So I personally and sincerely give sincere thanks to the Royal Global University for inviting me here to interact with the young generation, and for that I'm really satisfied. And with the best wishes to all the competitors, do not surrender, apply your intuition. And there is an English poem, Charge of the Light Brigade, 600 Russian soldiers, and they were facing thousands of enemies, but then 600 Russian soldiers won the war. So intelligently nobody is inferior, but the question is application and tuning it with the requirement, and that is the main thing. So as I have given the responsibility of declaring, I declare the opening or inauguration of the moot court competition to be held here. We hope that something good result will come with a new dimension, with a new horizon, not in an orthodox or conventional way, in an innovative way. With that, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your encouraging words. It is a privilege to be graced by the presence of Justice Retired Biplab Kumar Sharma, Honorable former Judge of Guwahati High Court, a luminary in the legal field, as the chief guest for today's ceremony. After obtaining his bachelor's degree in law from Guwahati University, former Justice Sharma joined the Guwahati High Court Bar in 1978 and later earned his master's in law and an MA in political science. He served as standing counsel for Indian Railways for 21 years and represented various esteemed institutions before being appointed a High Court judge in 2003. During his tenure, he disposed of approximately 36,000 cases until his retirement in 2016. Post-retirement, Justice Sharma has continued his legal journey as a senior advocate at the Supreme Court and has chaired several high-profile inquiry commissions, including those related to the Assam Accord. Currently, he is the chairman of the Standing Complaint Scrutiny Committee of the All India Council for Technical Education and is involved in arbitration. Justice Sharma's exemplary career is an inspiration to us all. As we commence this competition, let his achievements motivate us to strive for excellence and uphold the principles of justice. I would now like to request Sir to please grace us with his speech.
Distinguished personalities on and off the dais, the members of the faculty, my dear student friends, and the participants in this moot court competition. Dr. Borpatra Guhai has said about the Indian philosophy, Vasudeva Kutumbakam. I add on to that, Vasudeva Kutumbakam, Mansa Bhassasa Karmane Kurute Swagatam, meaning thereby, the whole world is one family. We should embrace, we should welcome each other by our mind, by our walk, by our heart. I don't know whether the whole world is a family or not, but certainly the members of the law faculty, the members of the legal fraternity are all members of one family, because I am the greatest example, because I was an advocate, in fact, I am an advocate presently in the Supreme Court of India. I was also a judge, and I was also a lecturer in the LLM department of Guwahati University. Now, when I entered this complex, I found it very beautiful, and at the very outset, the anchor, she welcomed all of us, and she spoke about the legal acumen, advocacy skill, then followed by felicitations, then welcome address by Dr. Bhuvan Barua, who spoke about the transformation, challenges, good human being one should be, about which Dr. Borpatra Guhai said. Then our Vice Chancellor, he said about the deliberations, mobilization, also spoke about sustainable development, hearts should be bigger, law is very simple. Certainly so, I'll give one of my examples of my experience as a lawyer. And then followed by Professor Dr. Stephen P. Marak, he spoke about the moot court competition which can be the occasion for future guidance of a would-be lawyer. And Dr. Borpatra Guhai also spoke about the humanity. He said whether we are really human being, whether we have forgotten the human values. And what I say, because I being the last speaker, I always think that I am very, very lucky, because all my predecessors have said everything and I need not add on to anything. I can only adopt those arguments, those jurisprudential values about which they have already spoken. So I can very well say that since my predecessors have already spoken elaborately on the subjects about the moot court competition, about the jurisprudential values of law, etc. So what do I say? I can very well put off myself. But I will not. I will give one of my experience, which I often give in this kind of meetings. I was a lawyer. I just had completed about a month or so. I was sitting in the district judiciary, in our Guwahati district judiciary, and one of my friends, Mr. Bipul Goswami, he was the personal assistant to the deputy commissioner. In his chamber, I used to sit. He said that sitting here will not do. Go to the lawyers' library, sit there in the bar, interact with the lawyers. That was in 1978. And then you get yourself acquainted with the lawyers. That will pay the dividends. So, gathering courage, one day I entered into the bar library, sat there, and after about a minute or so, one gentleman, he was a Hindi speaking gentleman, he came and he said, he showed me certain papers like this. I could follow that there was some stamp paper, one wakalatnama. I could not follow anything because I was absolutely novice. So I kept on listening to him without following anything. Nobody was known to me to whom I should talk to, from whom I should get the guidance. Nobody was known to me. So after listening to him, I felt that ego problem was also there. Should I tell him that I could not follow anything, I do not know anything? He said, "Behtar yahi hoga." So I told him, because he was a Hindi speaking man, I told him, "Aap zara baithiye, main abhi aa raha hu." So I asked him to sit for a while, that I will come again. Then I went out and hired a rickshaw and went back home. So that was my first experience. So why I say so, that was the learning process. And moot court competition is, you are given a moot point. You have to argue on a particular point, both sides will argue. There will be some winner, some loser, doesn't matter. Because you take this example, I fled away from the scene. When the gentleman came to me, I could not tell him anything. आप जरा बैठिए मैं अभी आ रहा हूँ. I could not say that I could not follow anything, so I am helpless. Instead I said, आप जरा बैठिए मैं अभी आ रहा हूँ, and then I fled away from the scene. That is one of my experience. And another experience I would like to tell you, and on 25th I think Dr. M.K. Sharma will be coming. I think he will be coming here on 25th of Justice Dr. M.K. Sharma, with whom I am doing some arbitration cases also. He used to be my senior in the Guwahati High Court. On one occasion, I am telling you this practical aspect of the matter because the Moot Court, agenda, Moot Court competition is associated with the principles those are required for a budding lawyer. Dr. M.K. Sharma was my senior. It was a railway case. He was the standing counsel. He asked me, Biplab, you take an adjournment today. And it was the Court of Justice B.L. Hansaria. And I went there and I prayed for an adjournment. The court was very reluctant to grant an adjournment. And he said that please argue the case. I did not know even anything about the case. I simply prayed for time. So I was just standing mum. Then he said, come prepare tomorrow, we will have to argue the case. Then next day, Dr. M.K. Sharma came. He started arguing the case. Then B.L. Hansaria, Justice B.L. Hansaria stopped him, saying that no, Mr. B.K. Sharma will have to argue the case because yesterday he could not say anything about the case. He will have to argue the case. And luckily, I had prepared the case, argued the case, and won the case. So why I am sharing these experiences is that these are the experiences you will have to follow. And always remember that learning passes for wisdom among those who want both. Merely by learning, going on the process of learning will not do. It will have to be like a spring, not like a reservoir which can be pumped out. Your knowledge should be stored in the spring, ever flowing. You keep on learning, but not like a store, like not a reservoir. Once your purse is emptied to your head, no one can steal it. It will remain in your head. Always remember that. And I will say that some of the utterances, because we have said about the human values, what about the legal principles involved, what about the ethical values involved in the legal profession. In one of the cases in 1993, that was a case for a decree of money recovery. And the court, that was a case of 1993, the court had decreed for an amount of rupees 60,000, and the lawyer, who was the lawyer, what he did, he paid the client only 18,000 and balance amount he kept for himself. Then when he was caught, when the matter came to the court, eventually to the Supreme Court, what the Supreme Court said, advocacy is not a craft, but a calling, a profession, wherein devotion to duty constitutes the hallmark. Sincerity of performance and earnestness of endeavor are the two wings that will bear aloft the advocate to the tower of success. Given these virtues, other qualifications will automatically follow of their own account. This is the reason why legal profession is regarded to be a noble one, but it cannot be allowed to become a sorriest of traits. A lawyer without the most sterling integrity, always remember, a lawyer without the most sterling integrity may shine for a while with meteoric splendor, but his light will soon go out in blackness and darkness. That is the maxim. Maxim is that the ends sacrificed is that the means. Justice Krishna Iyer, once he said in 1975, what is the role of a lawyer, what is the role of the bar? The bar is not a private guild like that of barbers, butchers, and candlestick makers, but by bold contrast, a public institution committed to public justice and pro bono public service. The grant of a monopoly license to practice law is based on three assumptions. 1, there is socially useful function for the lawyer to perform. 2, the lawyer is a professional person who will perform that function. And 3, his performance as a professional person is regulated by himself and more formally by the profession as a whole. Then one Calcutta High Court judge, yesterday the Calcutta High Court has delivered a judgment cancelling all the OBC certificates, those were granted after 2010 being illegally granted. Now, one of the judges, not in this particular case, earlier, one of the Calcutta High Court judges, what he said about the practice of law. The practice of law is not business open to all who wish to engage in it. It is personal right or privilege. It is in the nature of a franchisee from the state that you are a member of the legal profession is your privilege, that you can represent your client is your privilege, that you can in that capacity claim audience in court is also your privilege. Yours is an exalted profession in which your privilege is your duty and your duty is your privilege. They both coincides. And while doing, the legal practice, we should remember that one should encourage the amicable settlement. That is why Section 89, Mr. Chandok is there, Mr. Kalita is there, they are from all the legal fraternity. They were in the district judiciary. They will know it. Section 89 of the Code of Civil Procedure encourages amicable settlement. And Mahatma Gandhi, who said about the amicable settlement, what he said, the entire legal profession, lawyers, judges, law school teachers, has become so mesmerized with the stipulation of the courtroom contest that we tend to forget that we should be healers of conflicts. For same disputes, trials will be the only means, but for many claim our system is too costly, too painful, too destructive, too inefficient for truly civilized people. To rely on the adversarial process as the principal means of resolving conflicts claim is a mistake that must be corrected. And what Mahatma Gandhi said, both were happy after the amicable settlement, both were happy with the result, and both rose in public estimation. I realized that a true function of a lawyer was to unite parties riven asunder. The lesson was so indelibly learned into me that the last part of my time during the 20 years of my practice as a lawyer was occupied in bringing out private compromises of hundreds of cases. I lost nothing thereby, not even money, certainly not my soul. And what the great philosopher said about the justice, justice, to be perfectly just, is an attribute of the divine nature. To be so, to the utmost of our abilities, is the glory of man. Justice discards party, friendship, and kindred, and therefore represented as blind. You see that statue is blind. Why it is blind? Because justice discards party, friendship, and kindred, and therefore represented as blind. Justice is the constant desire and effort to render to every man his dues. Adversaries in law strive mightily, but eat and drink as friends. You will often see that they quarrel in the courtroom premises, but going out, they take tea together. So these are the some of the niceties of the legal profession. And you should always remember that as a budding lawyer, when you will enter into the legal profession, you will have to keep your utmost integrity, and you owe a duty to the court, you owe a duty to your client, and finally you owe a duty to the legal profession. Now, so far as the moot court competition is concerned, you will be given a particular topic, you will argue the particular topic, either for or against, and eventually somebody will be winner, somebody will be loser. It doesn't matter, because eventually what you achieve in your life, remaining in the profession, it's a noble profession. Always remember that unless there is absolute integrity, you may rise for a while, but ultimately that will not pay the dividends. So I will not say much, and I always I remember that particular the source of Hindu law, which speaks of Shruti, Smriti, Sadasara, Sasyasa Priyam Atmana, etat Chaturvidam Prahu, Sakshat Dharmasa Lakshmanam. Meaning thereby, the sources of Hindu law is Shruti. Shruti means the Vedas. Whatever was heard directly from the God, it was written down in the Vedas. Smriti means whatever is remembered. Narada Smriti, Jagyabalka Smriti, Manu Smriti, etc. are there. Then Sadasara means the custom. Custom is also a source of law. Leave aside all these. What is appealable to your heart? What is appeal to your conscience? Sasyasa Priyam Atmana, meaning thereby, what is you think just and proper, you will pay attention to that only. Whatever may be the sources of law, ultimately the victory is always for law, not for the act. So I will conclude, will not speak much. My all the best wishes to you all, and I wish the organizers a happy end to this entire event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful words and your wonderful experience. As we conclude this memorable inauguration ceremony, it is my privilege to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks to everyone who contributed to its success. Firstly, a sincere gratitude to our esteemed guests. Your insightful and inspiring words have added immense value to our gathering, and your presence has been a great honor. A special thanks to the organizing committee for their meticulous planning and tireless efforts. Lastly, thank you to all our attendees for your support and engagement. We look forward to seeing you at future events. Thank you.